Yeah, we're broadcasting right now. So cool. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. So, hey, how are you again? Sorry for the technical issues. So, yep, we're gonna start right now. Uh, I'm gonna share screen. So, if you can see my screen, say yes.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you,
Yep.
Shane. Cool. So, yep. So for a start, will be a really short session, only to get to know like a little bit more about what SONA, what we're gonna do with SONA right now in this term. So what we're gonna focus on. Um, so perfectly, you will know the basics about SONA and how you have to fulfill it in order to get the correct information for us to MC, so we can give you the correct also, the correct assessment in order for you to boost your operations, your PM, or your finance, or whatever the thing that you need to be boosted in your entity. So yeah, to present myself a little bit more, I'm Serge or Sergio, or you can call me in many ways. You can also call me Kevin. It's really weird, but it's okay. One random fact about me is that, yeah, I said I'm afraid of heights, but I love traveling on planes. It's a little bit weird because I don't choose windows on the planes because I'm really scared of that, and I have to go to in the middle of the hall, So yeah, so just to know a little bit more about you, can you tell me like what is your random fact and yeah, your name, so I can learn your names better in French names. So Edgy,
Yes, but I'm not French. I don't know. Like, have you ever heard Eje as in
no,
French?
in my no, I have never ever heard that name, so
Ah, okay.
it's something
So
new for me. So what?
I'm Ece, and I'm
Yeah,
from Turkey. I don't know, like, if you know that country, like,
yeah, I know
okay.
where it is, but I didn't visit it. That's okay.
Ah,
So what's
okay.
your random fact? A random fact about you?
Uh, okay. Normally, I don't like to like drink alcohol, like abusing it. But when it comes to tequila, I don't have limits. I don't know. It just came to my mind now, right now.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Nice, Laura.
Okay, so my name is Laura. I'm from Spain. And my random fact my random fact about me is that it's 9:13 and I'm still in the office. And I have another person here for you.
Yeah, that's
Hello, my
good.
name is Yaprak. I'm also from Turkey, now that you know the country. And yeah, my random fact that I am also here. And I just delivered a transition to your LCVPs. And AJ, your OGX was not in the call by.
What?
Ooh,
Oh,
accountability. That your
yeah.
LCD OGB wasn't on the call.
Yeah, I will just kill her. Don't worry.
It's okay. Good, nice. Shane, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Shaheen. Like I live in nearby Paris, but my parents are from India. And my random fact is that I my phobia is butterfly.
Butterfly Folly. Okay, that's super interesting. Thank you so much for sharing those things. So let's go. So first of all, you need to know what SONA. What SONA is. In basics, I have two meanings for SONA since I was LCP. So first of all, it's accountability tool created to bus LCPs and VPs on their normal week. So yeah, technically that's what's created for you to be bussed. So you can, when you are in a normal week, really calm, and then you have to fight to feel sauna. So yeah, sorry about that. That's the first thing I learned when I was LCP. But the second thing is the important thing, that is it's an accountability tool created to get general perspective about what's happening on the local level, in the LCs, in order to co-create strategies and will push entities to the next level. So Sona rocks. The idea for Sona right now is to create and to get information that you are, in terms of operational things, in terms of PM or in terms of finance, so we can understand what's happening in your entity and how we can boost that, how we can do to boost your operation, how we can do for boost your LC in order to create strategies for that. We need to create also a really good understanding of that, and that it's not for buzzing you, it's for helping you, because we want to create a really, really great entity as France. So I hope that you feel SONA because SONA rocks. So that's important thing for you to know. What's SONA? Then, uh, what do you really need? Why do we really need SONA? First of all, for as MC, we need SONA because it's an important, really, really important thing, to see your reality and the status of the entity. We need SONA to analyze what's going on. If you are dropping, if you are growing, if you are not having the events we need you to have for in order to get the opens, or if your entity or your team, your PM is struggling a little bit more, a little bit there, so they are not having a really good retention or something like that. So we need to know what's your reality and what's your status. And also it's because we want to know what's your point of view as an EV, as an executive board. Why? Because sometimes if you are MC, you can see the things from outside. It's easier to see the things from outside, but we're not knowing and we're not working day by day with you. So we need to know what's your point of view as an EV. So yeah, we need to know how are you doing and how you're dealing with ISEC, because sometimes it's a little bit hard to deal with ISEC. A lot of things to do, a lot of accountability, reunions, meetings, everything. But we need to know that. So how we can help you to be happy with what are you doing in ISEC. And for an entity, an LC, what's the why we really need SONA is because it's important for to create a routine of reporting. Because if you don't report, you are not sharing information and you are not knowing what's happening. So you need to report. That's the first thing to know. Not only for MC and also for LCPs, because some LCPs know. You get some reports, you get some insights from the SONA. So that's the idea, for the LCPs also to know what's happening in their entities and how they can work with that. Because from each SONA, you get a report. And that report says, like, you need to do this. It's like, why do you don't do like this event, or why you don't focus on this part of the your organization or your entity. So it's a little bit of reporting and also to get to know more from your entities too. And yeah, making accountable things and translate experiences into tangible things. Like, we also love that the idea of ISEC is to get experiences, really good experiences, but we cannot measure the impact we're doing, even though we're doing amazing numbers. We cannot measure the impact we're doing if we don't have tangible things to measure that. We need numbers like approvals, realizations, completes, and so on. So until now, do you have any doubts about what's SONA? What's about why we really need SONA? Any questions?
Just one question. Like, I know that LCVPs should fill the sauna,
Yeah.
and what I have to do is that I have to do to report all of the departments again what they did.
No. The idea is each one of the LCVPs fill a SONA, and when we get all the information for each one of the departments, and also from your perspective as LCP, we're going to we're going to join everything as a report for the complete LC. So the idea is to get information from each one of the perspectives from each one of the departments. You don't have to fill for everyone. You only have to fill the part that is related for LCP. Each one of the LCPs will fill the one related for each department.
Okay, so
Cool.
I will not report each department. I will report something else.
No, you have to report what's related to LCP. You know that LCP, you have the management team, you have the meetings, you have to measure the team standards among your EV and so on. So you are going to report that part of your experience, and each
Okay.
one of the LCPs which will report, their own measurables, because each one of the positions has a different measurable. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Cool. Cool. Any other questions?
No.
No. Thank you. Let's go. So, what I need to fill my sauna. Information is equal to victory. Girls, is the most important thing you need to know. Information is everything for you now that you are LCPs. So, we have some few departments like the major that are marketing, operations. For operations, I mean OGX and ICX, PM, and also finance. So, for marketing, we need to know like the basics in terms of numbers. We need to know what's the number of external events separated by products. So in this case, is that if you're going to do a stand in your university, you need to separate the products. You know, an event for OGE, an event for OGV, an event for a I don't know OGE, ICX, depends what you need in that moment of of your term. So they have to be separated. Why? If you mix many different products in the same place, it will be a mess, a total mess, and people won't understand your message. So we need to know which event is focused on which product. Then it's also a number. It's number of opens, the quantity of people that you attract using this event. You know that's super important. And another thing, it's the conversion from open to approval. Why from open to approval? You will say, okay, marketing is only about getting opens and getting signups for people, but for to create a really good synergy between your marketing and your operations department, the idea is to know how you're converting from open to approval, how many people that are has been attracted are converted to approval. In it depends on the product. Obviously it is also separated by products, but yeah, that's the idea. So for marketing, do you have any doubts about information that you need to know for filling the SONA?
Yeah, I thought that it was the conversion from open to applicants for the marketing.
Yeah, the idea is like for open to, when you create a conversion from open to applicant, it's like, okay, they only apply, but it's nothing that you are, ensuring. A person that applies is not a person that will take the exchange. So the person that is going to go to approval is the person that is going to make the exchange. So if you go to apply, it's like kind of like, okay, but the idea is also to boost synergy between OGX and marketing. And it's a deliverable. Obviously it's a deliverable from both of from both of the departments, but at the end it has to be together. It's not a specific measurable from marketing, but I want to boost a little bit more the idea of having a synergy between both departments. So did you get the idea?
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Perfect.
nice.
Any other questions? Okay, no. Okay, let's go. So operations is super important. It's technically the major measurable in terms of experiences in ISEC. But let's focus on this now. It's the number of applications, but we have to take a little bit more into account what's the number of applications per applicant. What's the difference? One person can apply for 10 different projects, but generally they will only go for one project. So the idea is to know how many applications you have, but also how many applicants for each one of the applications you have. Like if one applicant is going for too many, it's really difficult to make them focus on one only product or one project. So let's take into account this. Then the number of approvals. This is only the number. How many people are saying, okay, yes, I will go to exchange and sign the contract and pay their fee. Then we have to go into corporations. I introduced this idea because we have to focus on which countries we are going to sell. Each entity is super different from another entity. I don't know, something that works super good for Itasud won't go the same way for Lille. So the idea is to know which are your focus in terms of countries and in terms of entities. Why also? Because we have to analyze this, and if we want to be like more professional in terms in ISEC, inside ISEC, we have to set targets with our corporations. We have to analyze the products that our corporations are running, and also the projects our corporations are running. So the idea is for you to analyze how many people are going for each country and why they are going to there. What's the idea? Why they are so attracted to that country? Why they are so attracted to that city specifically? Because not all the cities run the same project in national level. So the idea is for you to analyze these numbers and also the numbers of realization. They will be only taken into account when we are getting to the peak, the realization peak. That technically is a winter peak and also summer peak, like the two major peaks that we have in France. So the idea here is you to analyze in that part of the year how many people are converting from approval to realizations. But another thing that you have to know is in the complete term. Why in the complete term? Because many people, it happens everywhere in the world. There is one of the peaks that is the strongest, and the other one that is not that strong. So many people that approve in the first peak, they are going to directly on summer, even though they made the approve for the in the winter peak, they are going to go on summer because it's the longest time they have for doing the experience. And it's also important for us to know when we have to focus and when we have to boost which part of the customer flow. So why is that? Because in the first peak, that is winter peak, you're not going to focus that much on the realizations. Why? Because you don't have that many people that are going to be doing the realization. But in summer peak, you have to focus so much in the customer experience and also in the value delivery, because they are the highest number of people that are going to go on exchange. So for operations, do you have any doubts?
No.
Beleza. So let's go. For PM, we have to know about retention rate, that is the number of people that are staying in your entity. Investments in HR, like the idea for this is to focus on how much are I'm investing, and why I'm not investing in my entity, why I'm not investing in membership. That's important. Team standards implementation is coming soon, because we right now we're going to we measured, and if your VPs are not measuring the PM processes that are super different than team standards, we have to start focusing on what's team standards and how we can implement team standards. So that will be downscaled by Eva. That's why it says coming soon. And PM processes, there is a link there that we also put in another slide for you to go. These are the PM processes that were defined for our current MCB PM, Fernanda. So the idea is to focus on these processes, but you are going to focus on one of the processes in different times of the year. Right now, we are going to focus, I don't know, in this part that is that is getting new people, getting new members. Then we're going to focus on keep the members that we have. That's directly going to affect to your retention rate. Develop how many cycles, education cycles, we are implementing on our entity, how they are learning, if they are learning, if they can learn things that will be used after ISEC. And then we have report, that is super important, that is all the months, especially for EVs. You have to report. You don't have to report only for your NC, you have to report to your LC. Why? Because they need to know what they are doing, what the other departments are doing. So that's important for you to go. So we're going to ask, like, how many people stay from your LC, like how many investments, or what are the major investments that you did for your HR. What are the How are you going with Get? If you implemented the attraction campaign for recruitment, if you implemented the induction session for the recruitment. So all those parts will be changing during the year and during your term, so you can know which part you have to focus on in different parts of the year. Any question for PM?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Finance. What's the difference between investment in finance and investments in PM? Investment in finance are directly going to focus on OGV or directly on HR. Why we're separating and why we're taking into account PM as a separate investment? Why? The focus in PM will be how PM are sending strategies or suggesting strategies to finance to invest on their members, and finance we're going to say and we're going to analyze the executions of the budget that were supposed to be given to PM or to OGX or to marketing. It depends which one of the departments. So the idea for finance is to know the execution, how much that you plan to invest were executed really in your entity. The second thing is the incomes. We have two different types of incomes: the ones that are for products And sometimes if you run ICX or if you run another, PD, or you have some relationships or something like that, you can get money from another, and like an enterprise that you have a partnership with or something like that. But majorly it has to be in products. We have to know how many, how much money you are getting from products, especially obviously from OGV, OGE, and OGT. So the idea is to focus on how much we are getting from the products in the parts of incomes. And financing standards, that's something new. There are two types of financing standards in France. That was one of my first shocks. That you have the French financing standards and you have the ISEC financing standards. So we are going to merge both. We're going to work with that with your new MCVP finance that is Nassim. So that's why it says coming soon. So we're not going to implement that right away, but then you will have to get into account, how you're going to implement accountability. It's also part of the reporting. You have also auditing and so on. So the idea is to know how much of the finance standards, the percentage of finance standards that are implemented in your entity. We're going to explain that further and more profound, but the idea is to start measuring these types of deliverables that are really important for each one of the departments. So any doubts about finance right now? Nothing?
Yep.
No? Okay, cool. So we're going to be fluffy too. We need to be fluffy. Yeah, it's so fluffy. The idea is to obviously analyze numbers, analyze the status of the entity in terms of numbers, but we have also have to analyze how people are developing, how people are feeling right now. What are the things you need help with? Like for example, I don't know, I need a motivational talk about the purpose in ISEC, or why we do what we do, or maybe how to balance your life between ISEC and your normal life. And those things are really, really important for us to know. So that's the fluffy part. Also, we need to know if you need some specific assessment. Like, for example, we have amazing alumni that can work with you in terms of coaching, in terms of mentoring, or something like that. So the idea for us is to know which are those soft skills that you need to push more, so we can help you more. So that would be like questions like, how do you feel? If you are fulfilling your goals, if you need some help of assessment, or in something like, do you need some specific session from the MC or from the alumni, or I don't know. We're going to try to measure how we can help you in terms of soft skills, because we are not only about numbers, we have to focus also in soft skills. So we are here to support each other. So that's the major thing you have to know. We're going to support each other. So that's the fluffy part we need to focus on in the SONA. Each one of the LCPPs or LCP will have the same questions, so we can know how we can help you in terms of soft skills. Any questions here? The fluffy? No, no.
No, it's cute.
Yeah,
No.
I love Agnes. It's super amazing, super cute. So important links you have to know. You have to core here. You have core analytics. This is the code that is in core for the entity for MC for France. And yeah, you can start changing dates and so on. I will show you right now how is core here. So the idea here, when you open here, you say you have friends, you have the global ranking, regional ranking. There are numbers that we don't care that much. So you can here see the dates that you can manage, and you can here see the applicants, accepted applicants, approvals, and so on. So this is a really good thing, because sometimes expa goes down, so core will never go down. So it's important for you to get here. And also you have some other really interesting things like conversion rates. You don't have to get your calc and start calculating with by hand everything. Core helps you with this. And also you have the all the conversion rates for realize, for approval, for accepted. So this is a really good tool to take into account. You also have expa. Expa is super important, because that's the major platform we are using. In expa you will see your applicants, how many people are applying for each product. And also I know that in expa you can filter in terms of SDGs and so on. If you want to get a better and more profound insights about your applications, expa is the best thing, because you have filters for SDGs, for products, for I don't know, and also you can analyze entity to entity, like how are you going to go, like no, I don't know if your entity Shane is going to work with Rio de Janeiro, you can see the statistics about how they are working between. So it's amazing. And there's the PM processes right now. That is super important for you to know how to get, how to keep, how to develop, and how to report for your experience during this term. So any doubts here? There are these three major. Once we're getting for the planning tool and we get for the different finance standards tools and team standards tools, I will start putting the links here and also let you know on an email or drop you a message on Facebook, or if you use WhatsApp, it will be better. Yeah, we love Latinos love WhatsApp. So any questions here until now? Any questions about the process? Any questions about anything? Random questions are allowed to.
No, it's super clear.
Super. Thank you so much. One thing I want you to know, and it's a thing that I always focus on every time I work with people, is that there are no stupid questions. There are just stupid people that don't ask. So if you have any questions, just say it. I'm always open to answer your thing, your doubts, and helping you out whatever you want or you need something. So just ask. It's important for you to ask and to get out all the doubts, because when it comes to implementing, you will be like, oh, I don't know, what about this, about this. But if you have any doubts, just drop me a message. I will be open and available to help you out. So yeah, we're getting to the end of the webinar. Let's make it real. This week, I'm going to take over the SONA right now. Laura gave me that task. It's amazing. I'm really happy because we're going to start working together. So yeah, that's the main idea. So this week we are going to start going with SONA. I hope you feel it, feel all the things you need. And if you need something extra, or if there is something in SONA that it's not there, and you want to give me like drop a message, it's okay. You can drop a message to me. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that you are here, and let's see how we can work and make things happen together. I will be in France in a few weeks, so I hope to see you there and keep working and making things happen. So thank you so much, and yeah,
Thank
I'm
you,
here
Dar.
to help.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No, it's
Okay,
okay.
can I say something? Like one last thing, like me being the current MC Beach. So just for you guys to know, the SONA, reporting the SONA is also part of the compendium. Is one of the membership criteria that you can check in the compendium that you have in the transition tool already. And in order to fulfill it, you cannot miss more than one SONA complete and correctly fulfilled per quarter. So it's something that in the email it's always said, but I think it's also important to mention and for you to have it in mind that it was something that was voted like a couple of years ago as a membership criteria. That's all. That was my contribution.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you to
Yeah.
scare us.
No, come
It's
on.
easy to feel, girls. It's super
It's
easy to
not.
feel.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't want to scare you, but I think it's important for you to know, to be aware, and not to find the surprise later on. Maybe in the case.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, check that out. It's super important for you. So yeah, thank you, Lau.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So I'm stopping the broadcast and